So yeah, tonight we're gonna build a standard deck. We're gonna build a God Pharaoh's Gift deck. Whether it's Sultai or Esper or blue-white, it's still up in the air. But I'm leaning Sultai because it's a little different. It's something we can try out. The problem I have is Angel of Invention. I don't really want to splash this card, but it's probably one of the best things you can get back with God Pharaoh's Gift. Just a hasty, huge life-linking body is something that a lot of these decks struggle with. And then, I don't necessarily want to lose to cards like Rekindling Phoenix, Glorybringer, Heart of Kirin. So having that as an answer to those cards that can block early if you need to hard cast it, or take an exert trigger or whatever, but something that can help you in the mid game that you can cast. Now if we put this card in Sultai, it's very unlikely that we're actually casting that card, and I think that scares me a little bit. We could run cards like, this deck ran cards like Chart of Course to answer that, but we might just need to forego Ravenous Chupacabra and just run 3 Hostage Takers and maybe 1 Chupacabra or something. The other option we have is we could run like Noxious Gearhulks in the list, just as like an ETB kill your thing, gain a bunch of life, and then we can recoup that later. If we go blue-white, we lose out on the Scarab God. If we go Esper, we get the Scarab God. So I'm leaning Esper because the combination of the Scarab God and Angel of Invention is high enough power to me to really warrant those colors. Now, Sultai is interesting because you get cards like Merfolk Branch Watcher or Walker. You can run Seeker Squire and Chart of Course. And so the idea is that you're kind of just this blue, green, black deck that's trying to just play value creatures in the early game, and then later on you kind of switch into a God Pharaoh's Gift deck if you need to. So that version, or that I would assume, is running like the Gate to the Afterlife and maybe 1 God Pharaoh's Gift, because you really don't want to draw it. You're more of an aggro deck than you are anything else. But the Esper and the blue-white version, you can run Chart of Courses and then also have the Refurbish. So there's kind of 2 directions you can take this deck. You can take it, I'm just going to have this nice mid-ranged deck that has this plan B, go long strategy with the God Pharaoh's Gift. Or you can, kind of rush the God Pharaoh's Gift out with like blue-white. And so I'm really torn on the direction to take this. I feel like I want to try Sultai, mostly just to try it. It might be bad, might not be good at all, but it's something that we can try. So I think tonight that's the direction we're going to go. This deck's kind of on my front runner for decks to play at a PPTQ this weekend. I don't know that I'll play Sultai, but if we don't test it, then there really isn't a way to know. So let's just start by kind of throwing some cards in there. So first one we're going to want is Merfolk. What is it? Merfolk Branchwalker. Actually own 0 copies of this card. That's funny. And then I think we want Seeker Squire as well. Oh, it's Seeker's Squire. That's funny. Oh, own 4 of those. I like to draft black, if you can't tell. Champion of Wits is an obvious card here. So these are kind of our ways to get things into the graveyard. Jade Light Ranger is another nice new inclusion to this type of deck. We're going to want Walking Ballista. One of the reasons I kind of like this deck is Mardu Vehicles is very weak to Walking Ballista on average. They have a lot of 1 toughness things. So just being able to like play that early against them is pretty good. So our decision needs to be 2 Hostage Taker and 2 Chupacabra, or 3 Hostage Taker and 1 Chupacabra. I'm gonna go with 3 and 1 for right now. I know that Ravenous Chupacabra is very good, but so Nub, I think if you're running the Gate to the Afterlight version, Walking Bliss is actually quite good because you can just discard it if you need to, or essentially play it for 0. So I don't want to play Angel of Invention. This list I'm looking at has 3 of them. I think what I'd rather do instead is figure out if maybe there's a better card to play. We could run, I think having a copy, at least 1 copy of Noxious Gearhulk is probably right. It kind of acts as a Chupacabra in a sense, but the life gain is very relevant. I could see playing Glint Sleeve Siphoner if we wanted to. I'm not a big fan of that strategy, mostly because we don't have any other energy gain. We could do 2 Hostage Taker, 2 Chupacabra, but I'm more worried about cards like... Yeah, this is just going to be like a value version of GPG. Exactly. Like, our plan A is to just have these explore creatures, filter through our draws potentially, get some nonsense into the graveyard, and then, you know, we can Gate to the Afterlife it back. But overall, yes, this is just like mid-range value with plan B of God Pharaoh's Gift. And that's... So, Minister of Inquiries and Glint Sleeve is an interesting decision. We could... we could run those cards together. Minister isn't very aggressive, which is my only concern. They do work together, though. So I'm not sure. All right, let's add our lands here. So we're gonna want Blooming Marshes. We're gonna want Botanical Sanctums. We're gonna want. Do we want Aether Hubs? You're playing a Bant version with Cultivator of Blades as my angel. Cultivator of Blades is the one that, like, whenever it attacks, it just like pumps based on its power, right? Yeah, okay. Alright, that's kind of interesting. I could get behind that. Were you running it as a 4 of? I'm gonna add 3 for now. Alright, so we probably want some fetid pools. Let's add 3 for now. And then we'll want some forest because we have double green. So we'll add like 4 of these. And a swamp. Let's see, we can get Drowned Catacombs, right? It's mostly for science. I mean, I think it's interesting. Like, I don't want to run Angel, and it kind of fills that slot in our colors. So we have 20 lands at the moment. I think most of these lists are running 20 24, right? Or 20... Is it 22 or 23? Oh, it's only 22, actually. I guess we have a lot of Explore, and we really just need to hit our 2-drops. So we could probably survive on just 22 lands, right? So what should our last 2 lands be? Maybe there's just supposed to be some like dual ETB tapped lands, like Foul Orchards, maybe. Not excited about that, but it might be right. And then we don't have any chart of course yet, so we need chart of course. And I think most lists are running 2 or 3, so then we need to make 1 cut. I'm gonna cut this Gear Hulk because I like, if we're trying this, I like these Cultivator of Blades. So now, because we cut the Gear Hulk, I'm gonna go ahead and run a 2-2 split. Alright, so I think this is the main board I want to try. This seems pretty decent. We have 12 2-drops, 8 3-drops, and 4 4-drops. This seems nice and solid. Alright, so let's talk sideboard. So we'll probably want some negates. I'm going to run... Whoops. Let's run 3 negates for now. Probably are gonna want some number of Fatal Push. I'll add 2. It might need to be more. Baraska's Contempts to deal with Planeswalkers. Add 2. Carnage Tyrant is another reason to like pull into green. I don't think Grixis can really answer this card very well. So I'll do 2 of those. I think Dream Stealer's reasonable in a God Pharaoh's Gift deck against blue-white and other control decks. Deathgorge Scavenger is another green card for the sideboard. And then, are we a duress deck? What kind of deck would we want to duress? Ooh, I like Thrashing Brontodon as a one-of. I like that. Recur some value. So the question is, do we just want like more negates? Do we want any duresses? So I'm not a big fan of duress against approach because they're playing off the top of their library a lot. It's good if you're trying to snag a counterspell, but I'm almost wondering if just negate is better. I'm inclined to believe that I just want negate. Ooh, Gonti. Gonti's fun. Yeah, Gonti's fun. I don't know what we really want it against, though. Like, it's okay against Grixis. I mean, I wouldn't mind it against Grixis. Against Blue-White Approach, it has some game. It might be better than a Dream Stealer. Yeah, but no, negate negate's the same idea. So like, but you have to kind of wait one extra turn. Negate's the same principle. But they are playing off the top of their deck. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Yes, they're a control deck, but they manage their resources to the point where their top deck is live. And if you duress, like, if you duress early and you take like a counter spell to set up for the next turn, they can still draw a counter. And sometimes you just duress and they have like 3 things. Okay, there's a key card we've forgotten. Kite Sail Freebooter. So the question we have to ask ourselves is this a sideboard card or is this a main board card? Is this better than Seeker's Squire? I'm inclined to believe that it is. The card's also very good against approach. Do I want Gonti? I've never been a big Dreamstealer fan. The Eternalize is quite expensive as well. Let's run 1 Gonti instead. Alright, I think this list is looking pretty good. I still firmly believe that Negate on average is better than Duress. It's also a much better top deck, I feel like. Like, they're both not great, but I feel like Negate is a better top deck. Huh. I don't know, I like this list. I'm a little worried about the mana, because it is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tap lands. But we have no 1-drops, so that might be okay. And then like turn 4, we start playing a lot of tap lands again. But again, we have a lot of 2s and 3s, so it's probably going to be okay to go 3 into 5. Alright, let's... again, I don't... Like, I like searching like blue-white, right? If you're trying to refurbish out a God Pharaoh's Gift, then I like it. But we're not really doing that. And it's like search, I feel like everyone's just trying to jam it. Like all of these Grixis decks are playing Search for Azcanta in the sideboard, and I just like hate it. It just doesn't make sense to me. Need to request this deck from Mana Traders here. Hopefully we'll have that deck in just a minute. Oh. They changed the UI on me. It's a little different. So this used to take about 5 minutes. Let's see how long it takes now. I just sent the request. So there was a really interesting judge call recently. Let me see if I can pull this up. So I'll read this aloud. It says, I'm up 1 game in the round playing Lantern Control. My opponent is on Red-White Prison Control, and there are 15 minutes left in the round. We're both on 20 life and have empty hands and libraries. My opponent controls a Gideon of the Trials and an emblem that says as long as you control a Gideon Planeswalker, you can't lose the game and your opponents can't win the game, right? I control an Ensnaring Bridge, a Mox Opal, and an Academy Runes. I also have a Mox Opal in my graveyard. I call over a judge and ask, during every one of my turns, can I put Mox Opal on top of my library during my upkeep, cast it, and then let it go to the graveyard? Therefore, preventing himself from ever milling out. And basically do that for 20 minutes straight because neither opponent can win, and since he's up a game, he'll win 1-0. I thought this was a really interesting situation. The official rules state that when a player demonstrates a loop, there must be an ending to the loop that's gonna like essentially win the game. It can't just, and it has to like progress the board state, essentially, is the ruling. And so, because the Mox Opal loop isn't progressing the board state, he has to break the loop eventually. And if he doesn't, it's considered stalling, at which point he's gonna get, DQ'd or game loss or some type of penalty. And so it was quite interesting to me because I disagreed that it was a loop. I felt like loops shouldn't be able to go across turns. Turns out that the comprehensive rules state that it can cross turns, but I just feel like ending a turn like breaks a loop. So I don't know. I thought it was really interesting though. Maybe I'm the only one. All right, here we go with round 1 with our Sultai GPG deck. Trying out Cultivator of Blades. Alright, this hand's kind of slow, but we are on the play. We are going to keep it. We are missing double green. We're going to lead on Fetid Pools into Blooming Marsh. Opponent mulligan to 6 and is now scrying. We're going to look like a blue-black control deck at the start of this. Alright, basic mountain. Could be Jeskai control. Alright, that was a bad draw. Oh, kept a 1-lander? Well, we might get a free win here. I think Champion... Well... I think Champion of Wits is the better play here, just in case he has a shock. We can also get rid of this God Pharaoh's Gift that we're probably never casting. Alright, he had a Magma Spray. That's fine. And we'll ditch this and a gate. All right. play out this Jade Light Ranger. We have the Scarab God for next turn, and that probably will close out the game. I assume this is going to get burned. Yep. Merfolk Branch Watcher. No, we're going to put that in the graveyard. Alright. We're just going to jam Scarab God here. And our opponent being stuck on 2 lands. Can't really answer this card. We'll probably concede. Alright, he's got a Harness Lining. So I like going Freebooter Gate here. Okay. So it's just a red-black control deck. I'm gonna take... I guess I'll take a Braid. Alright, so it doesn't have a Braid. Dust Legion Zealot. It's fine. We have 2 creatures in the yard right now. I'm going to save this Chupacabra for his Glint Sleeve Siphoner. I feel like I need to play this Scarab God as well. Hope he bricks for a turn on a land, on a swamp specifically. I'm like not beating these contempts with the Scarab God anyway. I could also play Walking Ballista, but then I think he'll Sweltering Suns. So yeah, I'll just play the Scarab God here. Does not look like he hit a black source. It's good for us. Alright, now he's got a black source. 2, 3, 4. Alright, so. Get Jade Light Ranger. Yeah. Kind of like that card. We can take the Sweltering Suns with it. Alright, he has a Glorybringer as well. Interesting. I'm going to take the Suns. I don't want him to get a 2-for-1 out of this. He pretty much is forced into contempting this, yeah. All right, 2, 4, 6, 7. Opponent's at 10. Glorybringer probably kills this freebooter. In terms of what feels most solid right now, I honestly don't know. I personally think that Esper's probably the best. Blue-white has a lot of playability. I really like kind of going with the refurbished plan. I just think it's kind of weak right now. When you're all in on that plan, cards like a Braid really shut you down. So I kind of like the whole idea of going mid-range and then like having a plan B with your God Pharaoh's Gift with like via Gate to the Afterlife. I think Mardu Vehicles is really good. Opponent's at 8. If we can come up with 1 damage, we have lethal. Well, I can't hostage taker and take this, unfortunately. I'm gonna play Chupacabra here. Putting our opponent a lot of pressure. We can champion for a Walking Ballista next turn. I don't think he's in a situation to come, like he's not gaining any life, so I'm not worried about that. All right, Carnage Tyrant seems pretty good here. He's just red-black, right? We think. So do we just like board out our God Pharaoh gift plan? He had Glint Sleep Siphoner, so I'm going to leave the Walking Ballistas in. We could just go something like this. And then board out 3 cards. Brontodon is actually not that good. Like, we could just do this if we wanted. And, like, this is a completely fine deck on its own, in my opinion. This could totally win us the game. Now, we should probably leave in, like, a God Pharaoh's Gift to go along with. We could leave the gates in. The Hostage Takers are actually probably the worst card because of the amount of removal. Like, we're not playing them until way late. It's not like the old Sultai deck where you have Blossoming Defense to like play it and protect it. You know, we probably don't need all of our Walking Ballistas for Glint Sleep Siphoner. And while Freebooter's good, it's probably good enough to leave in. We'll go 3 gates and leave in the 2 Walking Ballistas. I guess Hostage Taker might be a little better than... Alright. Although we're on the draw. We're on the draw. Let's do this. Let's try this out. We'll see how our opponent boarded. Is it strong enough to fight through expected hate it will receive? Yes, I think Mardu Vehicles, if its mana works out, is the strongest deck in the meta right now. If the mana works out. And that's where it's kind of weak. So our opponent gets a Triad of Course that we can't cast. We're a land away from doing Jade Light Ranger. Alright, he did not see our Carnage Tyrant, which is good for us, but that's going to be a while. Here's a glint. Oh. Argos Bloodfast. Well, our board plan has been very good. This card is not going to be good against us. I'm just going to put that into the graveyard. We're just going to win with all of our creatures. Pia, sure. Oh, we broke down a land. That's sad. Yep. We have 2 more gates in our... Yep. Alright, so we've seen an extra 4 cards and haven't hit a land yet. That's a little unfortunate. Sure. Alright, so Carnage Tyrant is definitely getting taken, I would assume. Opponent's taking a while to think. He might be thinking it's going to be a while before he casts this card. We are missing lands. He could take Chupacabra if he has like a Glorybringer in his hand. Takes the Freebooter. Interesting. In case we have fetid pools there, so this is kind of tricky. If we draw... We'll play this. If we draw Champion of Wits, we can't cast it. But I think I'm more likely to cast Jade Light Ranger later. And this could come into play untapped at a future point. Alright, Field Rune, sure. We actually don't have an island in our deck, which is kind of funny. We do have a swamp, which would allow us... So there's the fetid pool. No real reason to trade with a Thopter. How much do we want to play around Sweltering Suns? Probably not much. If we draw a gate to the afterlife, we can end up just... I do want that card. He's gonna make us shuffle away the Veraskew's Contempt? Oh, no. I thought he was gonna activate the Field of Ruin, making a shuffle. Sure. One, two, three, 4 creatures in the yard right now. I'm surprised this is in his deck still, but that's fine. I mean, I guess he needs to buy time. That's the only thing I can think of. You thinking about drawing a card? Alright. I saw there was an Esper version of this deck at the Nerd Rage Gaming CT last weekend, and it had 2 Hostile Deserts in it, and man, did they overperform. I was very impressed by them. So I don't know that I'm gonna just like jam out my... Oh, Scavenger Grounds, that's gross. What do we got here? I don't want to just jam my Carnage Tyrant into a potential Doomfall, since he showed us that he's running these. If this is Duress, then we'll just Contempt. Like, if we draw a land, I'm not going to play my Carnage Tyrant. I guess if he has a Doomfall, he knows about it, so he would just cast it. I can draw a Walking Ballista to kill both of these. Sure. Field of Ruin, a very annoying card in my opinion. The fact that it says you must shuffle. Alright, so opponent gets an extra card here. Alright, now he's in 11. So hopefully we don't get Doomfalled here, and hopefully we can play this Carnage Tyrant. Draws a card. Down to 9 already. Oh, that's a tilt. Alright. Well, we have our land for the Carnage Tyrant next turn. We just need to make sure that it hopefully doesn't get stripped out. Opponent's drawing another card. That's 7. If we draw a land, we can actually attack with Champion Wits. And then we kind of threaten our opponent has to Scavenger Grounds. It's like he might have found a... Okay, Doomfall, sure. We're at 20, our opponent's at 7. Not gonna attack. Not attacking allows me to play around Doomfall. He had both. Sick. And there goes our graveyard. Alright, game got a little difficult. I don't want him to kill in response, so I'm just going to go ahead and Contempt it now. Opponent's at 2. Can't really attack. Guess he can start flipping these and gaining a life. Alright. I'll put this on top of my library. So he has to sack this and gain toughness. So he's only going to be able to gain 3 and go to 5. He has that magma spray. Kind of gross. Can attack first for 8. If he attacks us for 8 though, he only goes to 4. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. We can only do 3 counters. So he needs a removal spell. He has one in the Deadlands. Man. It's kind of gross. 1, 2, 3. We're a land short. Like, he ripped that Deadlands. We still have to do it. We can force him to sack this, and then we can ping the egg and ping the glint sleeve siphoner. He has to do it in response, because if I ping him and then he sacks, I can ping him again. I don't want him drawing an extra card. Not blocking. On untapped land, we can add 2 counters to this thing. I'm gonna sack a guy. Goes to 2. And then he dies. Interesting game. Played out really interesting. I don't like that Argyl's Bloodfast, and that pretty much showcases why. He damaged himself like 9 times, but only gained 3, 4 life. I think he damaged himself for, let's see, he drew at least 5 cards off of it, so he did like 10 damage. And we didn't need our God Pharaoh's Gift to win the game. Those are the kind of God Pharaoh's Gift decks I like. Not the ones that are just trying to get out God's Pharaoh's Gift. Because sometimes when you play blue-white, you can see, like, you refurbish your God Pharaoh's Gift and there's, like, nothing in the yard. Like, it happens. And I'm not a big fan of that. Well, I wish we had another land, but we're going to mulligan. We are on the draw. This is a better 6. We're going to want land, so I'm going to leave that on top. I'm just an old teamer deck, dude. Oh, I should have played Drowned Catacombs. I thought we put Island on top. Whoops. Alright, that's not a card we want. I think Chart of Course is the best play here. Well then... Gate... We have 2 of them. And just like I thought, the Sultai man I think is going to be pretty awkward. This Foul Orchard is not making me very happy. Also, had we played Drowned Catacombs on 2, we would be able to Kitesail Freebooter this turn. So that's kind of a tilt. Both of these come into play tap, and I think I'd rather have the black mana. Really need to find an untap land next turn so we can Hostage Taker. Although we might be wanting to, we might want to save that at this point for Hazaret. Okay, definitely has a Hazaret in his hand. God, that's a tilt. The problem is if I Kitesail Freebooter, he's just gonna be down a card. Wish this was a May. Like, I might end up turning on the Hazaret for him, and I don't think I want to do that. So we're probably just losing this game because we just, like, I misplayed on the turn 1 with the Drowned Catacombs, and then, yeah. I don't know. It untap lands. Huh. So the gate into Cultivator actually is going to gain us some life here. Now remember that the Gate of the Afterlife says non-token. Oh, he just has the shock. Yeah, that's fine. So what the Fatal Push is... Deathforge Scavengers. The Brontodon's probably fine. I like boarding out one gift here. And our 5-drop is good for going wide, but it's not great. And then Charticourse just kind of like messes around. Probably want this Gaunty too. And these Contempts for Hazarets. Brontodon's probably overkill, so about that. It's possible we're supposed to want some number of Aether Hubs, but I doubt it. I think that is the downside to this version. Without like a tune with the Ether, Sultai mana is pretty tough. This Fetid Pulse could be anything, so I'm gonna keep. This time I'll appropriately lead on this Drowned Catacombs. Okay. Take this Abrade. Gonna hold off this Beaumont Courier now. Or just rips the shock. Alright, so there's a Braid, Captain Lannery. I think it's better to cycle here. It was a pretty insane draw by our opponent. Gate to the Afterlife doesn't do anything in face of the Braid. Hopefully he misses his land here. It's looking like that's going to be the case. Otherwise he would have played Captain. I think I have to play Jade Light first. It's likely dead though. He's not drawing creatures and he's not drawing lands. Okay. Drew 2 lands off this Jade Light Ranger. So next turn we can freebooter and Gate to the Afterlife. Or Branch Walker. Should probably freebooter. And I think we should Branch Walker as well. So we can take out the Captain Lannery. That's a good one. We have a lot of lands in our hand that we want to pitch. I plan to land there so that next turn we can land Gate plus. Alright, well I don't want to give him all these cards. So I'll trade my freebooter and this dude for his shock. Alright. He went with the cards anyway. Do we have time for Scarab God? I feel like we don't. This needs 6 creatures? 6. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then one of these dies, and that's 6. Alright, hopefully it didn't hit an Abrade off any of those cards. Chandra is my guess. Make 2 mana. Play a Kendra. Yep. Calling all your plays. Yep. It's 2 damage now for 2 damage later. 3, 6. So now the question is, see, if we were playing like Esper and we had Angel in our deck, it'd just be over. We'll get a freebooter. Take a look at our opponent's hand. Take this lightning strike. Alright, so he can play Hazoret next turn. Kind of tricky. I need to leave open this Contempt. I want him to block basically, because it's 1 damage either way. We got a 6, we got a 4, then we got a 2. But we can gain 2 now. Oh, he drew a Sunscorched Desert. That's so gross. God, this is the second time our opponents have ripped like a land. Well, that was good for us. We're going to 1. We're Dead to a lot of things. We could go to 2 here. Actually, we could go to more than 2. We're probably wanting to play Gate and Walking Ballista. Alright, we have another Contempt. So that takes us to 3. So let's pitch Botanical Sanctum and Freebooter. Wait. So one of the problems is an Eternalized Kendra. If he just goes like land, Eternalized Kendra, kill you. So yeah. Kind of an interesting spot, really. Here's the land. Here's the Eternalize. This can't block. I have to exile this now. Alright, so this works out good because now next turn I can get back the Walking Ballista. Alright, yeah. I could get back the Walking Ballista and add a counter to her and add a counter to it, so it's a 5/5, so the Earthshaker Kendra Immortalize or Eternalize can't make it not block. Alright, on the draw this is gonna be a little bit more difficult. I don't wanna make any changes. On the draw I don't know if I have time for the Scarab God. I might need to play Cultivator and Blades instead. Or maybe like a 1-1 split. I just don't ever see having time to activate this card. At least on the draw. This hand is a little slow. I am going to keep, we have Deathward Scavenger and a Walking Ballista. These both come into play tap. The Fetid Pulse has slightly better upside, but if we draw down Catacombs, we have Swamp anyway. Alright, that's a good draw. I can't think of anything we'd want, not like he'd play that we just want to kill, so I'm just gonna do that now. And then next turn we'll Scavenger it. Sure, this is dying to some type of burn spell. If he Chandra minuses next turn, we have a Walking Ballista to clean that up. Yeah, I don't know why I have priority right now. I guess I can play Walking Ballista for 0. So there's Sean. Oh, Hezeret, sure. Alright, well, unfortunately we didn't draw untap land to just contempt that. That would have been nice. Hopefully he can't empty his 3 cards. Of course he can. Well, he's not left with much. God, Glorybringer, that's pretty good. Thankfully we have the Chupacabra, which is going to turn out to be quite nice. And we can block this Firebrand now. Or not. I don't want him to untap and ping us for a free 1 damage. Moving Contempt for another big thing that he plays. Ideally we draw an untapped land. I'm gonna play Gonti here. Try to hit one of his big impact cards. Yep, those are all big impacts. Oh, did I forget to play a land? I think I did. Yeah, I missed the land drop. My bad. That might actually cost us, because I wanted to play Cultivator of Blades this turn and increase the clock. I think we'll be okay, but it's going to be close. I will trade my Walking Ballista for this 1 damage. Make some mana. Play a gate. For 2. Typically, I would, in a friendly match, I'd tell my opponent like what I hit off the Gonti, but given that we're in a league, no point in responding. Release the Gremlins. Interesting. It's not particularly amazing. Yeah, it's probably worth casting. Sure. I'm just gonna try to hold these 2 spells for this Chandra ult. Karazev's fine. I'll swing in just for 1 because the Boraski's Contempt plus the Kitesail Freebooter represents lethal next turn. At 7 with a Contempt up, I think we're in good shape. Alright, 2-0. We were off tempo a little bit when I didn't play that land, but again, it didn't matter. So if you guys didn't know, last weekend I did the commentary for Nerd Rage Gaming. They do 12 championship trials a year. They also do championship trial qualifiers at local stores. This is very similar to the SCG tour when they first started out. So the idea is that you attend local events at your stores called CTQs, and you qualify for free entry into the CTs. We are on the draw. Yeah, I'm gonna mulligan. We kind of want lands and spells because we have this Cultivator of Blades, but I'm gonna bottom it. So you qualify if you win a CTQ, or we're playing against Mardu. If you win a CTQ, you get free entry into the CT. If you win a CT, you qualify for the championship at the end of the year, which is very similar to SCG's player championship that they're no longer doing. I love that system, and I like that Nerd Rage is doing it. So if you live in the Midwest, that is definitely a tournament that you should be interested in. We'll be in 5 states this year. We'll be in Illinois, Missouri, Iowa, Indiana, and Wisconsin. All throughout 2018. Every CT is a 2K. They're also doing 2 team events this year, which will be 5Ks. Alright, so we're playing against vampires. It's going to be a little scary because he's going to play this Legion Lieutenant next turn. And we're going to be in some trouble. He's got 3 Legion's Lieutenants in his hand. Alenda. Whenever another creature dies, put a 1/1 counter on it. When it dies, create that many tokens with lifelink. Paco with the 4-month resub at $9.99. Thank you, Brad. Brad Love. That's a lot of Legion Lieutenants. We're going to lose because our opponent has 3 Legion's Lieutenants in their hands. I don't think we can beat that. Not our deck, anyway. At least not right now. Not with this hand. Alright, well, we're not blocking. I don't see a world where we're, like, trying to turbo out a gate. And so if I block next turn, I'm basically saving 3 life. But if I block the turn after, I'm saving 4 life. So I think that's the better line here. Alright, so we could Chupacabra potentially next turn if we hit an untapped land. It might get us back into this game, but I doubt it. Because our opponent's going to go double Legion's Lieutenant, I assume. I think other than a 1-drop, this is pretty much how our opponent drew up this deck. Alright, well, we didn't hit an untapped land, so we are just dead. Nice deck, opponent. Alright, we want these fatal pushes. I want the scavengers. Brontodon could kill Legion's Landing. He has some white. He could have something like, I don't know. He could have Ixalan's Binding or Cast Out or something like that. This is kind of an aggro deck, so I'm going to board very similarly how we did against Mono Red, which is basically board out a bunch of 5-drops. Hostage Taker's not bad. I actually like it because we can take like the Gleneldra and he won't be able to draw a bunch of cards. Radiant Destiny. Okay, I didn't think about that, but I assume that, yeah, I assume that deck's playing. This deck is playing that card. It will keep my hand. So far, the mana has been quite a big turn-off for this deck. I like that Esper gets access to both Glacial Fortress and Drowned Catacombs. So our opponent has a 1-drop Vampire. No? I'm gonna lead on Freebooter to try to hit like a Radiant Destiny or something. Vampire Zeal. It's my only take. We'll take it. Alright, opponent's hand's not as good as it was last game. Metallic Mimic, Naming Vampire. Adondo Vanguard is good, but it's not like scary, super crazy. Take this opportunity to get our other fetid pools into play. Well, maybe not now. Well, we have this Cultivator of Blades, which probably wants to be cast on 5, but we have 4 lands in play. So I guess we can go Blooming Marsh, Sanctum, Forest, and leave the pools for next turn to cycle. I guess let's do that. Assume a Vanguard's coming down. I'm 100% to block, even though he showed us Vampire Zeal. Frontenon also kills this Mimic, which isn't, you know, unrealistic. I actually don't think I want to attack with the Freebooter. I can hold off the Mimic, and I don't mind discarding a card. Alendra is a 1/1. So next turn our plan is to actually just play a Walking Ballista for 2 and kill this Mimic. And then the Alendra will have 2 counters on it, right? Whenever another creature dies, any creature. Well, I'm taking 4. We're going to go ahead and play this. It's looking like I'm going to be using all of my mana. Unfortunately, he gets to gain a counter on this, but not much I can do about that. I guess we're trying to draw like a hostage taker. I'll probably block next turn. We'll see how it goes. See what our opponent does. I know none of their cards. Is this Avona? 5 mana. Oh, sure. Well, if this is the line, I'm just gonna block with the Branch Walker, I think. Actually, I could sack the Walking Ballista, but I'd rather get a loot off of it. Alright, we're gonna wait till we get the gate into play. Could also play the Cultivator of Blades and make it a 3/3. It doesn't seem very appealing. And now we know his hand. Really want to draw a hostage taker. 2, 4, yeah. One damage does not do anything here. Like, he's just going to end up gaining 4 more next turn, assuming he pops a Dune. He has another Dune in his hand. Just gonna throw away this freebooter with nothing under it. Oh, we drew a Lord. That's gross. Alright, so we got a 3 here. Don't need a tap land. Two, 4, 6, 8, 9. So next turn he gets to ascend and make this fly. We can put a counter on our Walking Ballista, ping this, and then we're just chumping. It's not good, guys. It's not good. I'm not sure what our line is supposed to be. Cultivator probably gives us the most time. Then we have to chump with the freebooter. And then this just kills us next turn. I feel like I have to dig for something important, so do this. Chupacabra is not really what I want. Need a hostage taker. Also not what I want. I don't think I need to kill the Lord this turn, blue. I think I have to find hostage taker, so it's I'm more incentivized to get the second gate into play. Oh, our opponents have been drawing off the top very well. Just been to my Brontodon. So we need a hostage taker. And yeah, I mean, we really just kind of need a hostage taker. All right, hold on. The actual block should be like this. If we didn't have the Destiny, we could have traded here with the Ballista. Hostage taker? Am I gonna need my... I'm dead to this Sky Marcher, so I don't know that this Cultivator Blade is actually what I want, and I might want my lands if I draw like... Walking Ballista doesn't do anything, right? 1, 2, 3, I can put 3 counters on it. I guess it's 2 loot if I just play it for 0. Yeah, it does. It does work with her power, not the number of counters she has, which is quite good. Do not need a gate. God, we didn't even hit a champion of wits in all of this. That's insane. Well, we're not dead, technically. What should I get here? I guess Freebooter trades. And he gets the Vampire Zeal back out of his hand. Like a Champion of Wits could have been good too. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I wasn't attacking, so... I'm actually like more pleased that he used that than I am. He's popping a chef at Dunes, I assume. We can survive for several turns. As much as I want to kill this Lord, these things, I don't think it matters. And I can get back the Cultivator of Blades next turn, which trades with this Lord. So I have to go to 1 here. Very much like to find a hostage taker. I think we can do better than that. Or I don't think it's as good as a land. If we draw a Champion of Wits, I would rather have the land. Tilt. No, I have to make servos here to survive because I'm at 2. I just really want to find a hostage taker is basically the answer. If I find a hostage taker, I can actually take this and play it. I have another Blades in the yard. Assuming he doesn't play any more creatures. So, he likely drew another Vampire Zeal? That's what this represents? If we had a second Gate or God's Pharaoh's Gifts in our deck, we could have gotten 2 creatures back. Yeah. That's fine. It's basically all the same to me. Opponent being at 50. I think we're just dead. Oh no, we can get back another Cultivator Blades for 1 turn. Oh, I should have played the Sanctum. That was dumb of me. Just Chupacabra the fatty? Yeah. My opponent will be living the dream. Oh, that's good for us. This attack allows us to survive another turn. If he would have popped Dunes, God, it's such a tilt. I guess. Are we dead? If I get back Walking Ballista, I can only add 2 counters. I could Chupacabra, I guess, and kill the Lord, and that keeps me alive. Alright. Or not, yeah, just the Lord. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14 of 22 lands. I feel like we deserve it at this point. I don't know if it'll happen, but 27 cards in our library. We haven't seen any Champion of Wits or Hostage Takers, or even our Velasquez Contempts, right? Or did we board those in? I don't think we did. No, we didn't board them. Nope, just swamps. That's pretty insane. It's gonna be like the next card. Nope, not even. We were not getting there. Holy crap. That's alright. We're 2-1 with a deck that, like, I wasn't expecting to do amazingly. I definitely think Esper's probably the better of the two colors. If you're like trying to play a mid-range deck. I might have been able to get another turn if I would have kept the Kitesail Freebooter earlier, but I don't think that was right. Oh, yeah, this hand's fine. So we're going to play Charter Course next turn, and then Jade Light Ranger on 3. Got another mono red deck. Alright, play an Earthshaker, Kendra. Yep. Oh, Scrap Heap Kendra. Okay. Interesting. We're definitely playing the Jade Light Ranger next turn. Now. Gate to the Afterlife. We have 4 copies of this in our deck. What am I looking for, though? Like a Chupacabra or a Hostage Taker, probably? Certainly helps me find it. When are we going to play this, though? I think we're jamming Scarab God on 5. So next turn we'll play Walking Ballista for 2. This On-Crop Crasher. Yep. Definitely bringing in our Death Gorge Scavengers here. Sure. pretty much have to block here, right? I guess not. Yeah, I should block. I'm going to play Scarab God next turn, and we're going to take a chunk of damage because this is going to exert. So we're at effectively 5. Now 3. So we're dead to another lightning strike. Alright, Fatal Push in, Vraska's Contempt in, I like Gaunty, Deathgore Scavengers, 1 gift out, Scarab God's out, Cultivator of Blades are out, and these Chart of Courses are out. Yeah, I haven't played around with Panharmonicon at all. I think I played a EDH deck at one point with it, but that was it. I definitely think Angel of Invention is better than these Cultivator of Blades, even though they're kind of functionally the same. So we can go Fetid Pools, Botanical Sanctum Forest, Drowned Catacomb. I'm going to limit that card to just 1 damage here. Really need 2 counters here. Well, we're only getting 1. Man, do I want this card? I don't think 3 1/1s for 5 mana is quite where I want to be. Unfortunately, I wish these were flipped and we could have just done 2 counters and then binned it. 4-3 would have been able to block the 2-1 pretty reasonably. I'm gonna not block for a turn. Well, we've kind of flooded out. I'm gonna go ahead and leave open Contempt here. Just in lieu of like a Chandra. I'm holding back the Firebrand right now, so there's no point in blocking still. On deck. There we go. There's a card. the removal spell, play a tapland, turn, get Glorybringered, and get destroyed. Yep. Here he comes. This will be 4 creatures in the yard. Ooh, Hostage Taker. Do we think he has another Glorybringer? Because I could Hostage Taker the Karyazeb, which holds back the Firebrand, and then next turn I can Contempt the Glorybringer. I think that's the play I have to make. One, two, three, four, 5 creatures in the yard. Fine, I suppose. Not great for us, but it's not. It could be much worse. Definitely blocking with our Hostage Taker. Yeah, that's pretty good. Ooh. One, two, three, four, 5 creatures in the yard right now. I kind of want to attack with the Branch Walker. Alright, we have a couple of lines here. One thing I can do, since I can't quite take the Kindling Phoenix and get the egg, I can kill this now. And then I can Hostage Taker the egg, and the egg will just go away forever. And then if he wants to kill this to like prevent me from getting the egg, I'm gonna be able to gate. And now every creature that we control that dies, we gain 2 life. And if we untap, 2, 3, 4, 5, if any creature dies, we have a braid. We have 1 Abrade covered. And he's already used 2. I think we're in good shape here. I can start attacking with the Karyazev next turn. I might have been supposed to last turn, but I'm not sure. So unfortunately, Gate to the Afterlife says when it dies, and it's unfortunate that Karyazev exiles the token instead of sacks it. Chupacabra, pretty good draw here. I think because of that, I'm just gonna attack with these 2. So Firebrand's gonna ping us for 1, and we're dead to double Lightning Strike, so hopefully... Well, we have lethal next turn, so... As long as we get to untap... Opponent's taking a thinking. Incoming Sunbird notification. I would be amazed. I would be amazed. Well, we need to win another one on the draw now. I think the Cultivator of Blades are worse than Scarab God. But I think Thrashing Brontodon might be better than 1 Scarab God. So yeah. Mostly just because it's a 3/4 body. Blocks the 3/2 that keeps coming back, Scrap Heap Scrounger. It can also like block something else and sack to kill Scrap Heap Scrounger if we need to. This is a pretty good hand. We have a curve, so... I didn't really want to play Walking Ballista, so that Freebooter was a good draw. We do need to hit some lands, though. I will take the Lightning Strike so that you must abrade the Freebooter, and then you won't have an abrade for card like my Walking Ballista. He does have a Scavenger Grounds that makes it a little, these, our plan of gear God Pharaoh's Gift a little awkward, but it's fine. Choosing to abrade. Oh no! Stupid Moto. Oh, that's an absolute tilt. Okay, thankfully, he's gonna miss his land drop. Man, I like all of these cards. I don't think we need another Champion of Wits. And we can't cast this Gonti. Maybe that's why we want the Champion of Wits, so we can cast the Gonti. Walking Ballista is going to be good when he minuses on this Champion of Wits next turn. Would have been the Gate and the Champion of Wits. Yep. Alright, here comes Chandra. Not a Chandra, okay. I like Chandra there because the Earthshaker. I do want to get that out of the yard like pronto. I'm just gonna get my life while I can. We would have missed our land drop again, so like we're kind of back to the tempo we were on, but it's still a little unfortunate. This kind of prevents Chandra from minusing again. Scarab God doesn't actually do anything because of the Scavenger Ground, so I don't think we should play that next turn. I think playing Gonti is probably the right decision. We can't really draw a Hostage Shaker, so like Chupacabra is probably our best draw. Re-mana. Okay. Choosing to exile all yards. Get in for 4. take the Kenra. Alright, 3 unknowns. Chandra still can't minus because of the walking ballista. Yeah, that's pretty good. Definitely looking for a hostage taker. None of those cards are hostage taker. We got a 3. Oh man, we're so dead. Now we got a 2. Oh, gross. So if we do find hostage taker, now we have to do it on the Phoenix. Alright, we're just dead to this lightning strike. Oh, right, we're dead to any card. Alright, 2 and 2. We've lost to mono red. And what was the other guy playing? Oh, vampires. And then we beat mono red, and we beat Marty Vehicles, right? Was it Marty Vehicles? I think it was something a little off the wall. I do think the vampire deck, game 2, we had a very good shot at winning. We just bricked off one too many times. Alright, we have a Branch Walker on 2. Swamp. This could definitely be a fatal push. Champion of Wits. No, we need a land. His mana's pretty bad, so he's probably not gonna block here. Oh, alright. I stand corrected. Not hitting a land there was pretty unfortunate. We need a green source for these Jade Light Rangers. Hopefully our opponent plays like a Glint Sleep Siphoner here. It's good for us. And then if we can hit an untapped land, we have Walking Ballista, which can potentially 2 for 1. It's not an untapped land. We're still going to do it, though. Don't want our opponent drawing extra cards. We have a Chupacabra for that. Looks like we're getting... Okay, Scarab Guided. That's kind of gross. Is he going to be able to champion a Wits now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Huh. If I play Gate... If I play Gate, and then I play Walking Ballista, I'll have 4 creatures in the yard and a loot. That'll only be 5. I'm gonna attack and see if he blocks. Alright, sweet.